Welcome to the Spirits, Angels, and Guides Oh My podcast,
where the supernatural gets real, baby.
Hey everyone, welcome back to our podcast. I am Nancy Christine Brady.
I'm Tara Diana.
And today we have a very exciting part 2 to our podcast. So last time Tara went all over past lives, which was fantastic. And this time we're going to go into soul evolution. So I'm going to take the lead a little bit on this, but Tara and I are going to go a little bit back and forth on this, okay? How's that sound?
Let's go.
Let's go. Okay. So, one of the things that, and this is a request from one of our Spirit Lounge members. So we wanted to make sure that, we're giving up a big shout out to anyone who's listening that if you become part of our Spirit Lounge, you can also help influence the podcast and the subjects that we're talking about. So what is soul evolution? What is it to you, Tara?
Can I be honest? Yeah, I don't think about it much, to be honest with you. It's not something that I know what past lives are. I know what that kind of stuff. But soul evolution, that sentence or those words don't mean much to me other than, evolution and soul. I mean, put 2 and 2 together and it means that you're evolving. Your soul's evolving. Yeah. But I haven't thought about it much. So I'm as interested in this as, Lori when she suggested it.
Right. So I wrote a class a long time ago, and it depends on who you read out there. Everybody has an opinion from Sunday on what soul evolution is. And the class that I wrote broke it down into about 9 levels, but it doesn't really even have to be that complicated. We're going to skim over some of the basics today and really talk about what it means. Now, we're going to cover the obvious. We're going to assume all the listeners already understand what past lives are and reincarnation and incarnation and the differences between the two of those. Reincarnation would be when your soul is coming back. Incarnation would be the moment when your soul is actually entering into the body. So that's kind of the easiest way to describe the difference between the two of those. So we sit on the other side, we have a plan, we work it out with our soul group that we're going to reincarnate with. And basically, we plan life lessons. So we plan lessons that we're going to learn and we plan lessons that we're going to teach. So say I'm reincarnating to learn about unconditional love. So I'm going to have lots of lessons in there where it's going to be confusing and I have to learn what the opposite of unconditional love is in order to learn unconditional love. And we have those at different points through our life, and we either hit those lessons and we learn them, or they keep repeating themselves over and over again. And if we don't learn them, guess what? You come back and you do it all over again. Now, this is an agreement with your higher self. So when we reincarnate and incarnate into the body, it's basically a common understanding that you're going to basically, the majority of your soul stays up there. That's what's called your higher self. Okay. And then a little piece of your soul comes down into the body that you currently are in. Fair so far, Tara? Truth.
No lie detected, Nan.
Excellent. So we basically figure out our plan. We get in there and we come down here. Now, an interesting fact, because the other thing that you're going to hear people talk about a lot is karma. What's your opinion on karma, Tara?
Okay. Karma to me is one of those things that you want it to mean what everyone thinks it means. You want it to be like karma's coming to get you. I love that. And I know that in the last couple of years, there's been a lot of people going, karma's coming for him. Coming for him. And I'm like, shit, it's really not. But but I like hearing it because it always felt like it was like, yes, karma's coming. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, damn it. But karma to me is not the same, like, it's going to come back at you tenfold, et cetera, et cetera. Right. Do something bad, it'll come. It actually isn't. It's more along the lines of the good come to me, good go through me scenario in my book. So if you're doing good things, if you're a good person, or even just an average person, okay? If you're just doing the do and keep minding your business and doing what you need to do, you're going to get that back. It's just going to be a good thing coming back. So good come to me, good go through me. And I guess in the end, maybe that is why bad karma would come to people. I just don't believe that there is such a thing as bad karma, right? Bad things happen because, well, same reason good things happen. Shit happens. Life happens. We're in this roller coaster. So for me, I like the idea of being good come to me, good go through me. I do good for others. Others will bring goodness to me. And that has a good feel.
Yeah.
Or a flat tire to you when you're driving and you're like yelling at the car in front. Flat tire to you. Another medium did that in a car with us. This is so many years ago, Nan, but another medium did that in the car with us years and years and years ago. And Lynn Marie, bless her little soul, could not let go of that. So every time we got in it, we laughed so hard afterwards when this woman had done that. She was furious and she slammed her hand down on the dashboard and she was like, flat tire to you. I wonder if she's even still around. Anyway, Lynn Marie could not let that go. So every time we were in the car driving somewhere and someone cut us off or something, she'd be like, flat tire to you. And this hysterically. So it didn't actually mean anything because we were too hysterical. Anyway, carry on, my friend. Carry on.
Okay. So, and you're right. Like a lot of people assume it means it's going to be immediate. And part of my belief is that it's an educational thing that helps our soul become whole again. It basically doesn't happen immediately. It can even happen across more than one lifetime. So, when bad things happen to us, like losing our wallets or getting ill, we shouldn't think of them as punishments because they're actually educational experiences that we might not understand what the lesson is at this exact time, but we're going to understand it coming later on. Yeah.
Can I just say this? Like, literally, who thinks that losing your wallet is like the creator's punishment for you, not holding the door for someone?
Yeah.
I mean, again, it gets befuddled in the idea of having some kind of punishment happen, that we are all needing to be punished.
Yeah.
And that does not jive with me at all.
No. And it's very interesting because like a lot of times, I've read it, as you know, I'm a little bit of a dork with the books and I read all sorts of books, and there's a lot of them I go into deep dives with souls and reincarnation and all of that. And more often than not, you can sit there and go, well, why would anyone agree to come into this world and be murdered? Or why would anyone agree to come into this world and have a life-threatening illness? Often when we get to the other side, it's actually made really clear. So there tends to be contracts put in place. So let's say, for example, in my past lifetime, I was really mean to animals. So in this lifetime, I'm coming in and my karma is making everything all tickety-boo for that past lifetime because of how much I volunteer with animals. I do different things like that. But the contract that we have will, we can also do for others. So if someone was, I guess, let's say the roles reversed. Let's give an example along the lines of, I was a mother in one lifetime and I had a son and I was really mean to him. I might in this lifetime incarnate to have someone be mean to me so I can feel what that feels like. And what it does is it elevates my soul's evolution. It basically allows me to learn the lesson from a 360-degree view. Does this make sense at all, Tara?
Yeah. Keep going.
Yeah. Okay. So that's kind of it with karma. So it can come over many lifetimes. It can even come and work itself out in this existing lifetime. It just really it's just a matter of what your plan is, and think of it as a lesson. Think of it something that you're helping your soul evolve. Now, the other question that was brought up was around soul ages. And, when we're doing readings, or for some of you out there, you've probably had people do a reading for you and go, oh, you're such an old soul. Like, I can't tell you how many times if I've had a reading, somebody will say, oh, you're such an old soul. Yeah, okay. So you've got the metaphysical practitioners out there, and I'm going to give you kind of some rough outlined soul groups if you really need to figure it out. So we've got infant souls. That's people who are basically being alive. It's a survival, physicality, mortality, environmental awareness. They have nothing else going on. And you're going to know those souls when you meet them, when you're like, they just don't have any concept of anything else other than that physicality.
Is being.
Than being, just being,
Kind
exactly.
of like that blank stare.
Yeah, yeah. I had that the other day when I met someone. I was like, oh, okay. So,
Yay.
woo. So then we've got baby souls. Now, I might trigger people out there, so come at me if you need to, because it's that kind of week where
Please come at Nancy for a change. Please come at Nan. I'll hold the door. I'll protect her, but I'll hold the door. Okay.
Okay. So baby souls belong to cultures. So they follow rules, they follow roles, they follow all about law, order, crime, punishment, social awareness. It's very, very black and white. You probably know people like that are in that sort of baby soul. Young souls are kind of like free agents. They're independent, they're self-advancement, they're personal achievement. They do everything about free will. I feel a lot of the influencers right now on social media are very young souls. They just kind of fit in that sort of cookie cutter place. And then you've got mature souls, which coexist with others. And so that's where you've got interdependence, self-advancement, interdependence, relationships, empathy, intimacy, self-awareness. So those are our mature souls, where they're really starting to work on everything around them, just not what on them and what's within them. And then you get the old souls, and that's being a part of all of that is. And so this is autonomy. This is non-attachment. This is wise counsel. This is spiritual awareness. And so you're going to find that a lot of people like Tara and myself who are mediums, or people that you meet that are Reiki practitioners, a lot of them are old souls because we've been here. We've done this like thousands and hundreds and thousands of times.
Thousands. I rode the T-Rex. Let me.
She was the T-Rex.
I was the T-Rex.
Okay, I couldn't. I had to. Okay, so. Okay, so soul lifetimes. So new soul, a lot of the studies that are out there say that it's less. I don't know who's studying this, but it's in the books. It's in the books.
Who's studying this shit? I got dead.
So the people that have channeled this, I guess, I don't know.
It doesn't have to be us.
Exactly. I just do the research and I put it in the document and then we do the podcast. That's how this goes. Okay, so new souls, less than 500 years. So less than 5 lifetimes.
That's not me.
Young souls have been incarnated under 1,000 years and less than 10 lifetimes. Mature souls and old souls are less than 10,000 years and less than 150 lifetimes. And that's just, honestly though, like, you're going to know more about the person based on their behavior, I find. Like, it's funny. I had a friend who kept saying to me that her person was such an old soul. And yeah, no, he wasn't. So yeah,
that is a thing though, where people get these ideas and they thoughts. And I'm going to be honest, Nan, I haven't heard half of these definitions that you're giving because I've never done that deep dive.
Yeah.
And listening to them, I'm like, yeah, I know I'm an old soul. I know I've come back and et cetera, et cetera. But I kind of feel like I might be a little bit of a free spirit over here, and I might be a little bit of something like that. And the thing is you can be many, many things. Yeah. But it's the actual, I'm going to say it, the core part of you that really holds that higher self soul energy, right? That the fact that you can come here and have this experience like you're a free spirit and still be the oldest soul, be a T-Rex if you have to be. You can still be that old soul, right?
Yeah.
I'm literally feeling, Nan, if you guys are, for those not watching, I am having like the biggest allergic reaction. I am so itchy. I can't stop playing with my hair. I'm scratching my ears. I'm twisting. And you're wondering why Tara's looking like she's having a conniption on the screen. I am just having...
She's itchy.
I have a really bad allergy. So anyway, I just need to say that if you're watching.
So the other thing that I find very interesting and I've really been diving into a lot recently is about parallel lifetimes. and this is something I find that's probably a little bit more controversial, but it's also kind of what I'm about to say, Tara. It's one of those things, we can't be so arrogant to think that there isn't other life on other planetary systems how could we think that there isn't other timelines that are happening simultaneously?
For real. So we're talking dimensions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say like parallel lifetimes. And I had a really interesting thing come up in one of my readings this past weekend where someone lost a dog. And it was really interesting because their higher self came through and told me, I said, there's like this dog showed up, and it showed up as a golden retriever, and then it morphed into a shepherd. And I didn't understand why it was changing species, because more often than not, the dog will show up and I'll see Fluffy, who was a poodle. All right. And I was like, why are you switching between dogs? And so the dog that they had just lost, the dog said, because I've also died in her other lifetime.
Oh,
So the dog was a golden retriever in her other parallel life, but it was a shepherd in this life. And my mind went kaboom, because I was like, that's crazy cool. Like, and spirits, I don't know about you, but spirits always teaching me. When I do readings, I often find there's lessons in sometimes the messages that I'm giving to people that are also meant for myself. Does that make sense?
oh yeah. Just like, when energy practitioners, they are hell-bent, they're going to be energy practitioners. They don't need to do mediumship. And then they come in and they're like, well, I'm giving messages. I'm like, of course you are. Yeah. We're always growing and shifting, right? If you want to be one thing, doesn't mean you're not going to be a whole bunch. Also, I just want to put this out there, please.
Yeah.
It also doesn't mean you have to be anything spiritually. Just because you're a psychic and medium doesn't mean you have to be. Okay, thank you.
I agree 100%.
That was a public service announcement for those.
Tara likes to give those, and we like to just have you listen to them. So there you go.
We like to have you listen and then not send nesting. Anyway.
Okay, so I was going to sort of close it off with a past life exercise. Is that cool?
Are you asking me? Of course it's cool.
Yeah. Okay. So basically,
no. What is I be like, oh my God, are you kidding me?
I would say your karma is going to bite you in the ass.
There's going to be a reckoning for your old asshole.
Your T-Rex soul.
You're so old, you won't be able to get away from it. Oh my God. Okay. No, I'm excited. I like doing these kinds of things.
Okay. So our higher selves always show us what we need to work on, whether it be trauma, karma, whatever it is that we need resolving. And your ego wants to trick you and tell you this isn't real because it might feel too simple or too easy. But trust me when I tell you, meditating, getting the answers from your higher self is so simple. So it's really as simple as, I want anyone who's watching this or listening to just simply take a deep breath. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, get yourself grounded, and ask Spirit, show me where and show me who, why. So let me rewind this. Spirit, Spirit, show me where, show me who, show me why, and show me how. And then I want you to take a moment after this just to plug into yourself and your higher self on the other side. Place your hands on your heart and ask your higher self to tell you the past life lesson that's being created in your present challenges in your life. And then instead of thinking it's been made up or make believe or it doesn't make sense, I want you to go in and do the work. Write it down. Do the healing. Send the energy of the circumstance for that lifetime that just gives sort of acknowledgement to that lifetime so it can bring healing into this lifetime. And then it's okay to be in the light and have it separate from you. So send it to the light. Say, I've resolved this, and send it to the light. And trust me, it's going to make a world of difference. Hopefully.
That is a lot. Are you going to put that somewhere so we can do that again sometime? Because I got lost at here and why and when.
Yes. So I will put it in our Instagram. Mm-hmm. I do have some deeper exercises that I'm going to put in our spirit lounge as well around this. because I didn't want to get really deep into the 9 levels of evolution because it's just way too much. It's basically a 3-hour class that I created. So, but I'll put this little meditation or prompt for you into Instagram and then give it a go and give us feedback. Like DM us on Instagram. We'd love to interact with you and see how this goes. You know, I find often with mediumship and psychic abilities, we overcomplicate it and we confuse things, which is going to be a beautiful lead into our next podcast that Tara's going to be doing.
Oh, sweet goddess. Goddess. You know, here's something interesting about all of this work and seeing where we are in parallel lives and all of this. There is so much rhetoric that's been handed down about just being this.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go into, and I just want to put this out there, Nan, we, even as spiritualists, go into that, but you're always enough. You're enough right where you are.
Mm-hmm.
And I that is not a lie.
Mm-hmm.
In the moment, you are always exactly where you meant to be.
Yeah.
And you are enough in that moment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it kind of like makes you think to yourself, okay, if I'm supposed to be right here, right now, how am I going to be anything more or less? How can I believe? That's what more to my point is. How can I believe that I'm actually a new soul or I'm actually this when I'm just being told that I have to be this right now? And no matter what, that's enough. And I think that's something that we as spiritualists and metaphysical practitioners do an injustice to when we are repetitive without more definition about what it means to be enough right now. Thank you very much. That was my TED Talk for the day.
Beautiful. And you're absolutely right. Like often when I'm doing readings for people, I will be like, you're absolutely supposed to be here living this life that you're in. So when people say, oh, I need to do a past life regression, you know, I get it. I love exploring the idea of past lives and karma and all of this. But the portion of my soul that incarnated into this body is here to live these experiences and to live these lessons and do my teachings and whatever else it is that I need to do. So I always say to people, don't get so stuck on learning about your past lives. If it can bring healing, like the little exercise that I gave, if you find you're continually going, oh my gosh, like, why do I keep choosing narcissist bosses? Okay, let's look at that. Let's explore that.
Oh, let's talk.
Can we pull some of that in from past lives and expedite the learning so that we don't have to continually repeat the lesson here?
That's a great point. That is powerful. Most of the time people do past lives. I would say literally 3 out of 5 past lives are just people, they don't really need a past life regression. They like the idea of it. They may think they need a past life regression,
yeah,
but in turn they actually don't, and they just find some interesting information that they can use. And for whatever, there's only been probably a handful, 2 handfuls. I've done this work a long time. 2 handfuls of people that have really needed the past life regression. Like when I say that, I mean like they solved a major dilemma in this life.
Exactly.
Usually it is a fear base.
Yes. Often you're same experiences I've had. It's almost always fear-based. And so if you can bring that forward and you can heal that, then you don't have to keep repeating it in lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. I mean, that's the whole goal, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, and the odds are a lot of time, let's say, like I use the example, unconditional love. So we've incarnated and we want to learn that. Odds are you're going to have to be working on that for a few lifetimes. It's not going to be something you're just going to be one and done. Like it's one of those things. But when you can bring forward a fear-based thing and solve it and have a solution around that, it's game changer because people aren't living in a state of debilitation then.
Well, then you move on.
Exactly.
Right? You've got the answer now. You know what to do, and you positive movement forward.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I had. I'm hoping that answers Lori's questions. Definitely, hopefully it's some food for thought for you guys out there as well to do some diving. I know Tara does past life regressions. I do Akashic readings as well. And so it's one of those things that if you're interested, hit Tara up. It's get a past life.
If you're interested, go to Tara. Or if you'd like to open your records,
Yeah.
then
There you go.
again, the parallel lives is something very, very interesting. I think we talked about in the last episode, Nan, just super quick, about doing a podcast on indigo children and rainbow children and crystal children. And that is really intriguing because that was a large part of my beginning experiences when I was trying to figure out how I was going to work with spirit. Like, yes, I'm a medium, but what am I going to do? And I spent a lot of time way back when working with children.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And that's interesting because I've had several mentors, but I had one mentor who refused to read on children until they turned 18.
The interesting thing is that I wasn't necessarily reading children in terms of, telling them what's going to happen to them down the road or anything. This was more about, it's reading in a different way, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't reading, and I certainly wasn't sitting down with a 5-year-old and being like, okay, Billy, I'm going to rob a bank, sir, so you best get yourself in order. It wasn't like that. And I can explain that at a different time. It was very different. And actually, most of the parents found it very, very soothing, as did the children, to have some tools to work with. And that's a whole, conversation for another time.
Yeah, we should do a whole podcast on that. We'll cover it with the indigo children one.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, who do we have a reading for? Because it's that time. It's about that time. Woo! I don't know the rest of the words.
And I don't even know what song you're singing, but that was glorious. So if you've been listening to our podcast for a while, you know what time it is. If you haven't, the end of every podcast, we choose a name from someone from our spirit lounge and we do a reading. So today the reading is going to be for Denise.
Okay, if anyone knows what song that was and goes into our Instagram and writes it out, it is correct. The first person that does it, I will give a free 15-minute reading to.
That's a good deal, guys. If you can figure that song out, I encourage you to do it.
I sound like a Muppet.
That was I totally went to Phenomena.
Oh my God. Okay. Let's give her the message. I don't know what are you.
So for anyone watching, I'm using the Eastern Oracle, Great Eastern Oracle.
I know it's nothing. Okay. That's from cards.
Okay. And I'm just going to pull one. We're going to pull a card for you, my girl. So, I love this. So Gifts of Life is the card that you got. Now, the artwork on this deck is absolutely beautiful to me. This is about enjoying the scenery. The roads are turning for you right now. So there's something energetically that's shifting. Now, change for a lot of people is scary, but for you, I feel this is going to be a good change. You're going to be leaning into some new beginnings and some new things. So I'm not sure if you're planning on traveling, if you're picking up a new hobby or different things like that. Oh, she is? Okay.
She's planning on traveling for sure. And she's in a mentorship program, a big mentorship program. So things are changing for her.
Oh, I love that. So this is like spirit coming in and going, yeah, girl, you got this. And that the roads are completely opening up for you. So that's super exciting. I love it when spirit doesn't lie when we pull cards.
Thank goddess. Man, I'm always like, and the cards will affirm everything I'm saying. Oh,
they do.
Flying.
They do. They're lovely. No, they're not like ChatGPT. ChatGPT can lie to you. The cards never lie.
Oh, ChatGPT, you need a timeout. What the heck? Okay, Denise, this is for you. It's the word Lord. Communication, praise, and dishonesty. And dishonesty. So this is a very interesting card. This is about being authentically within your own space. Now, you are traveling to a place to do some more spiritual work, etc., and there's a lot that goes on in that place. So I feel like this card is super important. As a matter of fact, I think you might end up sitting in a room with a guy that looks like that at this place. But anyway, you pay attention. Remember, just because things have a certain reputation or there's a certain flow of energy doesn't mean that everything that happens there is all it's cracked up to be. And this card here is telling you to pay attention to communication. Make sure that, you're getting what they're laying down, but also they're getting what you're laying down. Because sometimes individuals, especially teachers and mentors and things like that, get caught up in their ownness, right? Even I can do that sometimes and be like, stop, it's only my way. And then I'll be like, wait, it's not. Never. Let's go back a step. And then the praise is really important because they're saying to you, Spirit's saying to you that we trust you. We trust that you're going to be able to discern. We trust that you're going to be able to move in between the lines or read in between the lines. Well, you might be able to move between them too. I don't know what kind of lines they got going on. But anyway, so this is a really great card to be sure that when you're there, that no matter how excited you are, no matter how you are able to discern what is authentic and what is maybe a little bit of fairy dust.
Nice.
Yeah. You're going to have so much fun, though. You're going to eat a lot of potatoes. Just trust me. I've been to this location, so.
Nice. And that's it for us, friends. That wraps up.
And that's it. We are done. So here's the thing. The Spirit Lounge is where you all want to be. You want to be there because there's so much extra with what Nan and I do. Nan and I spend I spend a little more of my whole life and she spends a little less because she has another life. But we spend a lot of time putting together, the episodes and work for you guys to do to not only, raise your higher self, but to develop your intuition for whatever you need it for in your daily lives. So go to our Instagram, follow us there. Check out the Spirit Lounge. We have a link to it in the website, www.spiritessencebytaradiana.com. And just go and check it out on Nan's website, Nancy and Christine Brady too. The link will take you right to the whole little thing. And Patreon's out the door, Spirit Lounge is in.
Woo! We're so excited. All right, until next time. That was great. Thanks, Tara.
Okay, Nan. Well done, friend.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Okay, T-Rex says bye.
Thanks for joining us on this journey into the wonderfully weird and metaphysical. If you loved what you heard, don't forget to follow us for more insights and behind-the-scenes fun.